What is going on, you guys? It is another episode of the Sci-Fi Zone where the multiverse meets the seventh inning stretch. It's your boys Trenton and CJ, and today's destination is taking us back to the World Baseball Classic. I know this video is coming a little late. The World Baseball Classic did end 3 days ago, but we still want to cover it. Maybe some people were not able to watch it or catch up on it either, so we're doing this video for you guys. Or if you just loved the classic and you want to just run through and rehash all of the fun moments, we'll throw those in there for you guys too. It's going to be a really fun time. The World Baseball Classic this year has been so memorable.
It's been absolutely incredible, man. It's been such an enjoyable watch experience. We've seen blowout games, we've seen one-run games, we've seen comebacks, we've seen walk-off homers for the first time ever, we've seen records broken, we've seen undefeated teams get eliminated. It's been a wild ride, and it's just been so much fun to watch. And I love all the excitement in the tournament for not only the players, but also the fans as well. It clearly means so much to so many people, and it's just been a blast watching it all.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the countries outside of the United States, obviously the United States still has a good amount of passion for the game, but countries outside of the United States just have so much love for the game, and it's really awesome to see both the fans and the players exercise that love to the fullest extent that their hearts allow.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's a game, and you're playing a game, and you're watching a game, and it's supposed to be fun. And that's, if you're not having fun, then something is wrong.
Exactly. So let's get through these quarterfinals. We'll run through these kind of quickly, highlight the fun stuff, the important stuff. So let's do it. Japan versus Venezuela. Venezuela won this game 8-5, beating the reigning champs in the quarterfinals. I mean, I was not expecting this, especially with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the bump for Japan. The scoring did start with Ronald Acuna hitting a leadoff homer, which was awesome. And then Ohtani came back with another leadoff home run, which that was just so sick.
Yeah, that was so awesome. But when I saw both leadoff hitters hit a home run in the first at bat of their inning, I strapped in and I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be an exciting game. And it absolutely was, man. Right from the jump, there was a lot going on. These were two great pitchers starting, Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Ranger Suarez, but the ball was just getting crushed all game. The first 8 hits of this game were all extra base hits, including obviously those two leadoff homers. But yeah, I mean, the ball was absolutely getting crushed. It was a very heavily offensive game. And yeah, as you said, Venezuela managed to come out with a win 8-5. Not what I expected. I had predicted that Team Japan was going to win the entire tournament, and they didn't even make it to the semifinals. This is the first time they hadn't made it to the semifinals since 2006. And this is the first time that Venezuela has made it to the semifinals since 2009. I mean, obviously, Team Venezuela is a great team, but I was definitely a little bit surprised at how they handled Team Japan.
Yeah, I was too, but it made for a really fun back and forth game because in the second inning, after the leadoff home runs from both teams, Gleyber Torres hit a double to make it 2-1 for Venezuela. But then in the third, Japan had the biggest inning of the whole game, scoring 4 runs from a double by Teruaki Sato and a homer by Shota Morishita, making it 5-2 Japan, which was probable cause to relieve Ranger Suarez. But after Suarez was relieved for Venezuela, Venezuela's bullpen only allowed 4 hits for the rest of the game and threw 8 strikeouts along the way, holding Japan to those 5 runs while they scored 6 more with a 2-run homer by Markel Garcia in the 5th, and then 3 in the 6th from a Wilyer Abreu homer, and then an extra 1 in the 8th from a throwing error by Japan's pitcher Atsuki Tanechi. So just props to Venezuela's bullpen for getting themselves out of multiple jams and on top of the bats, pulling off the comeback that they needed. And clearly, this was a sign of things to come for Venezuela for the remaining games in the World Baseball Classic. And having Ohtani be the final out, I mean, just perfect.
Yeah, chef's kiss, man. That's baseball. That's how it always goes down, it seems. Yeah, this was a super impressive win for Venezuela. Japan had won 11 straight games going into this game. Obviously, they were probably the favorite. It was either them or the Dominican Republic to win this whole tournament. And Venezuela did give up some early runs. Obviously, you mentioned that 3-run home run from Shota Morishita, who, by the way, actually came in as a defensive sub in the previous inning because Seiya Suzuki got hurt on a slide trying to steal second. So that led to Morishita coming in the game, which then led to that 3-run homer in that big inning, giving them the lead. So that's just baseball for you as well. I just love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So next game, we got Team USA versus Team Canada. Team USA did fortunately come out 5-3 in this one. And unlike most World Baseball Classic games that have happened so far this tournament, this game only had one home run in it by Bo Naylor in the sixth inning. This game had a lot more of putting balls in play and more small ball type of efforts to get the runs in for Team USA. I mean, Cal Schwarber got an RBI ground out in the first inning. Bregman beats out an infield hit for an RBI on the third, which also caused a bad throw, resulting in another run for Team USA. And then Bryce Terang gets a RBI single up the middle in the sixth inning, and PCA does the same in the sixth inning as well. So just a lot of, just put the ball in play, get the run in, and we're good.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned in the last episode how many homers had already been hit in this tournament so far.
Literally a record-breaking amount.
It was a record-breaking amount before the first game of the quarterfinals. Unbelievable. But you don't always have to do that in order to be successful. Sometimes you just put the ball in play, make the defense make mistakes, like with that Bregman single, bringing in another run. That's huge for them. And like you mentioned, Bryce Terang and PCA with the singles towards the bottom of the lineup, they've been hitting 8th and 9th in this tournament, but they've been two of the better players and two of the better hitters for Team USA. And if they don't come up with those singles in that inning, it's a 3-3 game. You're late in the game. You don't really know what to expect because Team USA's bats have been a little unpredictable, if you will. They've had some good days. They've also had some bad days where they can't get the bats going. So yeah, those two runs especially were massively important for them, and Team USA is able to come out with the win 5-3.
Yeah, and Canada got those 3 runs from a Tyler Black single to left field in the bottom of the 6th inning, as well as a absolute shot by Bo Naylor. I mean, I just love watching home runs like that.
Yeah, man, it was great. That was an absolute tank.
Yeah. Also, Logan Webb, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, an overall 1.04 ERA in the World Baseball Classic. Just phenomenal pitching from him, and the bullpen held it down outside of some of the runs in the 6th inning. So good enough to get us to the semifinals. Heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another solid start from Logan Webb, doing what he needed to do, getting the game into the 5th inning, not allowing any runs. That's what he does. He's one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball, and he's going to be huge for the Giants this year, just as he always is.
Yeah, 100%. So next game we got the Dominican Republic versus Korea. Let's put it this way. The Dominican Republic had 7 different players with an RBI in this game. Korea had 2 hits overall.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a tough game for sure. I didn't think this game was going to be particularly close. Obviously, you have the undefeated Dominican Republic team with one of the best offensive lineups we've probably seen in the WBC, going up against Korea, who had a very difficult schedule, playing 2 games on Saturday, and then they played a game on Monday and didn't have their next game until Thursday or Friday. So it was tough luck of the draw for Team Korea. Yeah, they just really couldn't get it going here. Christopher Sanchez looked great for the Dominican Republic. He went 5 shutout innings, struck out 8 batters, only allowed 3 base runners. And like you mentioned, the bullpen just shut it down from there. Also, a walk-off home run from Austin Wells here to complete the mercy rule. He's been really fun to watch in this tournament. I know he hasn't been the best player, but just seeing the chemistry that he's built with those guys in that locker room, in that clubhouse, has been really cool to see. Cool to see how much they've been embracing him. And that was a big moment for him for sure.
Yeah, to quote him, he feels more Dominican every day.
I feel more Dominican every day. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, yep. He's going to be coming back to that Yankees camp as a whole different man.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love it. But, yeah, 10-0 final for the Dominican Republic. Mercy rule in the 7th inning. We're going Little League style, although I know it's only 6 innings, but give me a break, guys. But... yeah, it was 7-0 by the 4th inning. Junior Caminero had an RBI double. J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, they had an RBI ground out. Tatis had an RBI single. Those were all in the 2nd inning. And then in the 3rd inning, Vlad Jr. had an RBI double. And on this play here with Vlad Jr.'s RBI double, Soto's sliding in here. The swim move here to score, so impressive. I mean, the throw beat him by like a few feet, and he still managed to slip the hand in there. So... props to Soto for like giving it his all there.
Yeah, man, really cool there. I know he stole almost 40 bases last year, but Juan Soto's not really known for his base running. Hasn't really been known for his base running throughout his career, but there have been some really cool base running moments for Team DR in this. Vlad Jr. scoring, hauling ass from first on a double to score and flying into home plate essentially. Like the way that this Team DR plays just is so intense. They just go all out for their team, and it's so great to watch. And obviously, you mentioned 7 players in that lineup had an RBI in this game. You mentioned some of those guys: Tatis, Caminero, Vlad Jr., Machado. Obviously, when you have basically everybody on the team participating and contributing, it's going to be hard to lose a game like that.
Yeah, especially when they're all having fun at the same time and like kind of bouncing off each other's energy and performance.
100%, man. That's one of the most entertaining parts about it, is that they are expressing their emotions and that they are getting hyped and hyping each other up and jumping out of the dugout. It's so great to watch.
Yeah. So after that awesome swim move slide by Soto, Machado gets an RBI single, and then Fernando Tatis and Ketel Marte both walk with the bases loaded to make it 7-0. And then, as CJ previously mentioned, walk-off 3-run home run by Austin Wells to make it 10-0 to end the game early. They get to go home and have some drinks. They get to go to the semifinals. Pretty nice.
Yeah, just an absolutely dominant game for them. A lot of momentum taking it into the semifinals, and surely they'll keep that momentum in the semifinals.
Surely. But last quarterfinal game here, we got Italy versus Puerto Rico. This was another really, really interesting game. So, unfortunately, Puerto Rico's pitching was their downfall for this game. Even though they did start the game with a leadoff home run in the first by Willie Castro, Seth Lugo's 3 hits and 4 runs given up with only 1 out recorded. That's not going to get the job done for them. And those runs were scored by a Vinny Pasquantino RBI single to center, a Dominic is it Canzone or Canzoni? I like Canzoni.
I like that too. Yeah, it sounds
Dominic
like
Canzoni.
Dominic Calzoni.
Yeah. God, I feel bad. I'm sure he's heard that a million times growing
100%.
up. Yeah, but he got an RBI single this inning as well, and then Jock Caglione also got an RBI single, and then JJ DeRazio got a sac fly to left. So just not a lot of outs recorded and a lot of runs given up in the first by Seth Lugo, and it was too much for them to come back from.
Yeah, man. I mean, Italy really just got off starting to play small ball early, and that's how they got a lot of their runs. Obviously, you mentioned there's the 3 RBI singles and a sac fly, making it 4-1. And then in the 4th inning, 3 straight walks Team Italy takes advantage of by hitting back-to-back doubles to make it 8-2. And Team Italy was pretty much able to keep Puerto Rico at bay for most of this game. They would score some runs later in the 8th inning, but I mean, the bullpen did pretty well for the most part. You had Dylan DeLucia went 4 shutout innings in relief for Team Italy against Puerto Rico. When you have something like that, when you're facing a guy who gives up 4 runs, only allowing 1 out, that's going to be a huge difference maker. You need guys like that who can pitch in the middle of the game and eat innings for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's crazy how Italy was able to pull this off, even though the top of their lineup was averaging a 167 batting average.
Yeah.
But hey, they made it to the semifinals. So
yeah, and they were undefeated up to this point. They hadn't lost a game. They were getting it done. They were looking pretty well. And shout out to Vinny Pasquantino, stole 2 bases in this game. Big man running a little bit. That was surprising to me.
Yeah. So in our last video, we had in the semifinals the Dominican Republic versus Team USA and Team Italy versus Team Japan. So we did not exactly get that right.
No, we did not.
Yeah, but we were kind of close. I mean, we were right with the Dominican Republic and Team USA in the semifinals, but it was Venezuela, not Japan, making it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Venezuela had a great team, but I was a little bit surprised that we didn't see Japan even make it to the semifinals because of how much of a powerhouse they've been in the last couple tournaments, and even in this tournament alone. Like, I thought they were a clear favorite to at least make it to the semifinals, and they couldn't get it done. Venezuela just outperformed them.
Yep. Crazy town. So now for the semifinals, Team USA versus the Dominican Republic. Paul Skeens, he really put himself through some anxiety this game. He allowed 6 hits in 4 and a third innings, but only managed to allow 1 run and no walks. That's really impressive. And Team USA's pitching, honestly, as a whole, was really locked in, because after Skeens, they only allowed 2 more hits for the rest of the game versus Team Dominican Republic's insane lineup. I mean, a 2-1 final versus Team Dominican Republic. That's really impressive.
Yeah, this is not at all how I thought this game would go. I thought this game was going to be more so like the Venezuela-Japan quarterfinal game, a high-scoring game.
I thought this game was going to be 13-10.
Yeah. I didn't think 3 total runs were going to be scored in this game. Obviously, Paul Skeens is one of the best pitchers on the planet, but the Team Dominican Republic lineup is one of the best that we've seen. Some of those, it's basically an all-star lineup. You got Tatis, Guerrero, Julio Rodriguez. We haven't really talked about him in this video or any video, honestly, but he's an all-star caliber player too. Like Team USA was just able to keep them at bay. Like you mentioned, they were getting on base quite a bit, but Paul Skeens was good when runners were on base. The only run that he allowed was from a solo home run from Junior Caminero. So the guys that he was letting on base, he was stranding them, which is very important.
Yeah, and that was in the second inning. So he really held it down after that point, same with the bullpen. Team USA scored in the fourth inning by Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony both hitting solo homers to take a 2-1 lead from Junior Caminero's solo homer in the second. And those two solo home runs were ultimately the difference. I mean, who knew it'd be that close? And also, another thing that kind of factored into why the Dominican Republic was probably playing the way that they were was Aaron Judge was holding it down in right field on the defensive end of things. I mean, from the diving catch that he had in right field to then throwing out Tatis at third. I mean, that throw had Bo Jackson energy.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an absolute cannon of a throw. And those are massively important plays too. If he doesn't make those plays, if he dives for that ball and misses it, you have a runner at least on second base, probably on third. If he doesn't make that throw and throw Tatis out, you got Tatis on third. He's just picking guys off the base paths, and he's doing the work for his pitchers that they need him to do. You know, so the bats weren't really there, but the defense was there, the pitching was there, and eventually those two homers that you mentioned, Gunnar Henderson homer and the Roman Anthony homer, were enough to keep the lead. That Roman Anthony homer, by the way, first batter that Gregory Soto comes into face, and he hits a lefty tank to take the lead. Like, that was a huge moment for Roman Anthony. He had a great tournament.
Yeah, super clutch home run. Lefty is so difficult. I mean, obviously it's not MLB this show, but still, lefty is tough. I have played baseball. I bat left-handed, and so I know.
Yeah, I hated hitting against lefties, and I hated pitching to lefties too.
Yeah,
didn't like it.
And the final strike call of this game, not a great call. It was the 8th pitch of the at bat, and it was pretty low in the zone, and even the umpire thought about it for a second, like, is this a strike? Yeah, it's a strike. And man, if I was Perdomo, I would have reacted the exact same way.
Yeah, he really got robbed of that. He put together such a great at bat. Like you mentioned, the 8th pitch of it, he got into a full count. He took ball 4, which was very clearly ball 4, and it just got taken away from him. And who knows how that game could have changed if they get that walk late in the game with 2 outs in the 9th, and then who comes up next, you know, who hits a ball in the gap, Perdomo scores. It could have been one extra pitch that could have been a tied game. And just that call from the ump just took it away from him. And I think there have already been talks of them bringing the ABS system into the 2029 tournament. They better do that. I feel like they need to. If they weren't already planning on it, the ending of this game just solidifies that they should bring it in. There's really no reason for them not to. So I really hope that's an update they make next time.
I totally agree, because there were some calls here, like not just in this game or this at bat alone, but there are other calls that, I mean, you know, people aren't perfect, umpires make mistakes, but that's what this whole system is there for, to try and mitigate the mistakes as much as we can. And also to have this kind of at bat against Mason Miller, arguably Team USA's best relief pitcher. It's also crazy how young that guy is.
Yeah, man, he's still he was a rookie like 2 years ago, man. He is going to be in the league for a long time, and he is going to be throwing gas for a long time too. 10, 15 years from now, he might be the right-handed Aroldis Chapman, where he's like 36, 37 years old, and he's still throwing 100 miles an hour.
I really hope so. That would be really awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so the other semifinal, Venezuela versus Italy. This saw a 4-2 final with Venezuela moving on, and this was a rough game for Italy, unfortunately. I mean, they fought pretty hard to get here, and Aaron Nola even started the game for Italy great for them. He threw 4 innings, only allowed 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and it was only after Nola was relieved by Michael Lorenzen is when things started to fall apart for them. Lorenzen gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and 2 walks in 2 2/3 innings pitch, and just, yeah.
Yeah, this was another case of kind of getting small balled to death, honestly. You got the big 2-out rally in the 7th after a leadoff walk and then back-to-back strikeouts. So that's huge. Get a guy to hit a ball on the ground and you can get out of that inning. But Then you have 4 straight singles from Jackson Churio, Ronald Acuna Jr., Michael Garcia, Luis Arias. Those are 4 all-star hitters that are like coming up huge for their team exactly when they need them to give them the lead there. And yeah, Team Venezuela was able to hold Italy down to just those 2 runs. It was a good game for Venezuela. Good game all around.
Yeah, I mean, initially, Italy had the lead. Italy scored 2 runs off of a JJ DeRazio walk-in RBI force out by Dante Nori in the second, and Eugenio Suarez homers in the 4th, and then in the 7th, Acuna ties it with the RBI single, and then more singles by Michael Garcia and Luis Arias to take the overall lead for 4-2. And I'm really impressed by Venezuela's pitching staff in this game because they used 7 pitchers after their starter gave up 2 runs in the 1 1/3 innings pitch. After the starter got taken out, Venezuela gave up no runs, got 8 strikeouts. I mean, that's what you need to get into the finals.
Yeah, 100%. The pitching absolutely showed up for them when they needed to. It was dominant once they got past that first pitcher. Their last 6 pitchers allowed 5 base runners combined. So they just locked it down. They did it absolutely what they needed to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is back-to-back games that Team Venezuela plays where they eliminate an undefeated team. Japan and Italy had not lost a game.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a time to be clutch, it's when you get to the quarterfinals and semifinals, and Venezuela took that to heart, and they're like, we're going to be as clutch as we freaking can.
That is absolutely right.
So, Team USA versus Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic Finals. 3rd consecutive trip to the finals for Team USA, but now their 2nd consecutive loss as they lose 3-2 to Venezuela.
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah, man. This was really tough. Team USA really just couldn't get the bats going. They had 3 total hits in this game, never had a runner in scoring position. There were 2 singles and a 2-run homer. Not a single Team USA player got to second base and stood there. It was just not good. Like I mentioned earlier, the bats for Team USA was a little inconsistent. You don't really know what you're going to get from them. The first 7 hitters of Team USA's lineup combined for 2 for 23 throughout this game. Both of those hits coming from Bryce Harper. So you take out Bryce Harper, they were 0 for 21.
And he was arguably their coldest hitter.
Yeah, he was not having a great tournament thus far, but it's seemingly he was the only player that could get it going for them in this game.
Yeah, he was one of the few players in the lineup to have an OPS under 700 by the end of the tournament.
Yeah, man. He was not looking like himself. I don't know what it was.
You know, I bet if it was the Olympics, things would have been different.
Obviously, the WBC has been great, but it's not the Olympics, right?
That's what it was. The WBC is not the Olympics. That's the problem. Of course.
Yeah. And, you know, Team USA, I love you guys. I love a lot of the players on there, but you guys are kind of sore losers. Tossing off your silver medals as soon as you get them. Show some respect.
Yeah, that was super lame. I don't know what they were going for there. I don't know if they thought it was going to make them look good or if they were just being pouty and didn't want to accept the silver medals. Very disrespectful to the tournament in general and every other team playing in the tournament that hadn't been able to get that far.
Yeah, even if it was a close game score-wise, most of this game was Venezuela's game. They scored 2 runs off of a Michael Garcia sac fly and a Willie Abreu homer, and that was all the way until the 8th inning. They held them to 2 hits and no runs all the way until Bryce Harper's game-tying 2-run homer. I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez, he threw 4 1/3 innings pitch, only gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs, of course, and 4 strikeouts. I mean, just great pitching from Venezuela.
Yeah, really good pitching from Venezuela as a whole. Just absolutely keeping Team USA's bats very quiet and very cold all game. Team USA has some great pitching. Obviously, Paul Skeens is one of the best pitchers in the world. But I feel like what was going to determine how well they did in this tournament was how consistent their bats could be. They were going to have to outscore a lot of teams. They were going to have high offensive games. And we saw there were several instances where they weren't able to do that. I mean, in the semifinals and the finals combined, they scored 4 runs. They scored 4 runs in the last 2 games of the tournament. That's not going to get it done when you're getting deeper and deeper into the bracket and you're playing better and better teams. You have to score more than that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what sucks about Harper's home run too, it's one of the more clutch home runs in World Baseball Classic history, and it's just gonna be outshined and lost due to the fact that how they treated the tournament, and also the fact that Eugenio Suarez an RBI double off Garrett Whitlock the following inning to make it 3-2, so that they won. So just it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, Team USA didn't even record an out in the ninth inning before they allowed the go-ahead run to end up being the game-winning run. It was very short-lived. Like you mentioned, it was such a clutch moment for Harper. I mean, if you think about it just by itself, World Baseball Classic Finals, you're down 2, game-tying home run in the bottom of the 8th. That's supposed to be one of the biggest moments in the team's history, and it's just like you said, it's going to get overshadowed because they weren't able to take advantage of it, and that was really all they had.
Yeah, really unfortunate stuff, but I'm happy Team Venezuela won. They earned it.
Yeah, they did earn it, man. I'm very happy for them. I don't know if this is controversial or if I should be saying this, but I think I'm a little bit more happy for Venezuela winning this tournament than I would have been if Team USA won this tournament. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like the way that Team USA approached this tournament compared to every other team in this tournament was just, I feel like it kind of would have put a damper on it. I don't know. I didn't like the Team USA's vibe this year. I really hope that we can move on from this tough guy, cool guy, been there before, I don't really care act, because it's just so much more fun when the players care about the tournament and it's clear that they care about the tournament and they're expressing it. So yeah, I just hope that they can have a little bit more heart in the future, maybe.
Yeah, and just showing a bit more appreciation for, the journey, and also just what this whole tournament actually is and what it means. And second place isn't bad, especially with all the other countries that participated and tried to get there. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good point too. There were a lot of teams in this tournament, but there were also a lot of teams that competed for this tournament and didn't qualify, and other teams that would have loved to be in that position. But this tournament is supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to create these moments and create these memories for people. That last out of the game was an incredible moment. I'm going to remember that for a long time. You see Danny Palencia, the camera cuts to his face when he's in his set to throw the next pitch, and you can see a tear going down his face from his eyes. You can see him starting to tear up before he even throws the last pitch. And then he pumps 100 miles an hour on the high and outside corner to win the tournament for his team. That is the kind of stuff that I want to see. That's what I'm going to remember from these tournaments.
Yeah, it did kind of seem like Team USA was acting a bit entitled to getting to first place. We're already going to get there. We're that good. It's going to be a wash. And if we don't get there, then we don't even deserve to be there. I don't know. It's just kind of disrespecting everybody else in a way.
Yeah, I feel like they felt like they were the favorites for this tournament and that they were just going to waltz in and just walk away with the trophy. And that's not at all how it went. Other teams were competing, and they were competing more than Team USA thought. And they were proven wrong in this tournament. They were.
Yeah, but that's been the World Baseball Classic for 2026. It has been an amazing ride, amazing journey. A lot of records broken, a lot of lessons learned, and we will see you guys in 3 years.
Yes, absolutely. Can't wait for the next one.
Yep. But if you like the baseball content, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate if you joined our channel and stayed more up with the content. We're going to be releasing baseball content all year. And if you like Marvel stuff or DC stuff, we just dropped a Spider-Man trailer, and we're going to be covering Daredevil, and we're also going to be covering Man of Tomorrow and other things like that, and Lanterns and Supergirl. We're going to be doing so much. We're going to be doing all the stuff. So if you like that stuff, then please stick around. We would love it. But we hope to see you on the next one. Have a good day. Peace.